Greetings, Poke fans. Zack Attack here, and we are finally back with more Pokemon P4G Play More Draft League. And today they battled the scariest starter Pokemon. And this is the second week of the P4G. They won last week against their battle with Kyle A and the Miami Dawn fans. But this one they take on Gentleman Thomas and the Copenhagen Glades. And it's going to be a crazy battle. There was no YouTube short of this battle because, spoiler alert, neither Bubby was brought to both teams. And when I say neither Bubby, you'll find out a little bit more about that in the video. But yeah, no, let's just go on ahead and jump right on into this battle. I'm a little worried because it's 19 minutes long. But that also means the video will be a much shorter than the last one. So, you're welcome. Anyway, let's go on and begin and see what happens for this week.
This week for Play More, there's a reunion in the swamp as we take on our old friend Bubby as he's on the Copenhagen Glades, coached by Gentleman Thomas, our opponent for this week. Appleton's a lot of fun, Tyler, but there's also some big threats on the other side. It's going to be an interesting week.
And it's going to be an interesting week indeed, John. So the last time we did this, the team builder, I talked about some of the threats on the other side. And then I don't really want to pause in the middle of the battle, so let's just go on ahead and see what the threats are on our opponent's side. And he's got a Staraptor, he's got a Donphan. Staraptor is like the big threat that the veteran was worried about, but the biggest threat on the opposing side is that Feraligatr. Donphan is also pretty scary. Because it's the rocker, it can be a rocker, it can be a rapid spinner, it can be both. It's probably going to carry Earthquake as well. EQ. Meloetta can be terrifying because of Relic Song. Tinkaton is not that strong as it looks, but it is fast and can run Swords Dance sets. Salazzle can do Corrosion Boost Toxic to paralyze Poison Steel types on the other side, namely Tentacruel and Earthworm. But, with spoiler alert, both came to this battle. Yellow and Persian probably won't see any play. And of course, you got Bubby the Appleton, the OG GOAT. And then Mismagius, which we have seen before in the 10th season of the GB. Even the Beneral had it. It was more of a support role than an offensive role, but it could still come. And the Alolan Golem and the Leavanny as Terra Captains. Ignore those Terras. Those are all the wrong Terras. I actually don't know any of the Terras. I don't remember most Terras. I know Leavanny has a Grass and Fire option. I know the Golem has, I think, a Electric and a Fighting option. I don't remember the other one. But, I don't remember the other ones. But even still, these are going to be a crazy team. I'm very worried about Feraligatr of Sheer Force, Dragon Dance sets, but this team can do a lot of damage. I'm sure John and Tyler will elaborate more, but yeah, let's just see what the Beneral brought and what the team and what Thomas brought.
We've got the old Bubby, we've got the real Bubby on our side, and we've got the new Bubby on our team as well. And with all the threats they've got, John, it actually sets up a bit of a counter on our team because it's a very fast team on the opposing side. And we got a little trick room we've talked about potentially up our sleeve for this battle.
And if you want to see if our coach has a few tricks up his sleeve, you can watch the full team builder that is always
linked in the description below.
And looking at the team that he did bring, Tyler, looks like Trick Room might be here. That's
Katarine.
exciting. Let's get into this battle.
And Avalugg. Okay.
All right, Tyler, it's the moment of truth. Did he bring Bubby? No! And no Staraptor. Wait, what?
Wow. That's crazy. I almost for sure thought that the Staraptor was going to come. I'm not surprised not to see Bubby, although I also am kind of surprised not to see Bubby at the same time, considering his opponent is Playmore. But for Alligator, no surprise there. I'm sure I know why it's there. These Salazzle, Corrosion, that makes sense. Meloetta with Relic Song, more than likely. Switch back and forth between a Psychic and a Fighting type. The Alolan Golem probably has Galvanized Explosion. It might even be the Rocker. Okay, to be fair, he's a Dawn fan, so that could also probably be the Rocker as well. And then Tinkaton, probably just there. Tinkaton can do a lot against the team with the Fairy and the Steel, so I'm not surprised it's here as well. I'm just surprised not to see the Raptor. That's my biggest shot. But yeah, But to be fair, the general did over prep for it, so it makes sense not to see that. Hey, the Raptor is the one that's going to be over prepped for. Let me just not bring it, just to be evil.
We'd see at least one of the two, if not both. That is interesting, as our lead Crocodile had a few tricks ready for Staraptor specifically. It's just good not to see that, though, as that was a huge threat, Tyler.
Yeah, and I know a lot of our team is built around stopping Staraptor. This is something we've seen the past couple of seasons where is it an advantage or a disadvantage where you've prepared so much for something on the other side? And for the opposing team, you've got to figure having Staraptor there makes that a better team, but not bringing it, you take a little away. But Gentleman Thomas has to know on our side, we're putting in a lot of prep for that Staraptor. Although I do have to wonder, John, is that the same Meloetta that you called the evolution for in the every level video? How did it get here?
It's a really good question.
Oh, I saw that video.
Trading with opposing teams.
Hey, man. Hey, I worked some dark magic to call that thing. Now it's in the battle the next week. I thought we'd see Bubby. I do like seeing Ben lead with what he wanted to lead with. To begin with, don't go with Orthworm. We don't know if he's going to lead with Donphan. We can still switch into that if we want to. But as we see this and the thunder coming down, it's a good omen for Galvantula. Before we get into the battle, though, hey, Playmore, the sponsor of this team, Playmore. Go over to play-more.store. We have a brand new merch drop. The Bubby plushies are restocked. We didn't even get to go against Bubby in the battle. You can go buy one for yourself. And Tyler, it looks like we are in with that Alolan Golem.
Alolan Golem.
Pretty terrifying.
Fruity Pebble.
Love getting an Intimidate on that thing.
Cereal brand names I forgot to mention.
Ground type out here because they can't do my favorite strategy in the DLC, which was running out Alolan Golem with a stash and exploding with an electric type explosion to start every battle with the bang. They can't do that unless for some reason they anticipate a switch and make the greatest prediction of all time. I do like this start, though, and I do agree with you fully. There have been some times where things maybe don't shape up as Ben was planning them to, and he would adjust his game plan for that. Here, even though there's no Staraptor, he still sticks with what was the game plan from the jump, and I love that.
It worked out really great. Now, the really difficult thing
here is
he's
going for the counter.
Possible Terra, and we have
There's
the
Terra.
counter. This is fantastic. This is the plan for Staraptor, Tyler, but it's going to work on Magnet Guy with the beard. Okay.
Terra fighting.
And it looks like there's going to be
it's going to be body press, isn't it? The Benner doesn't like that. Yep, there's body press.
After the Intimidate, we can. I think we kill. No!
Crocodile goes down turn 1. No.
Sadness.
Not Croc, no!
This is a man named John. That is devastating. Now, we didn't have a switch. That was a really good start. I hate to see that, but he almost led off with the Orthworm. That would not have worked out well. We do have the Ablock. You can't switch that in until we can Terra up. So it's just unfortunate all across the board. But it does allow us to bring Hatterene in. I assume from that switch, there's confidence that there is the Golem is choice locked in, and we can maybe go for a Trick Room here or just fire off a big hits.
That's the question, because we know looking at the other team, Trick Room was a potential.
Okay, is he making a double switch into Orthworm? What for?
Do you go for it now to put that pressure on immediately, or do you hold that in your back pocket? I don't know. It's a tough spot because immediately we're on our back foot.
We are. It looks like he's going to try to force a switch in here, which I do really like this now. It can be a little risky, but, you know, more often than not, when Ben tries to pull a double switch, it does work out. It's scary to do so because if you switch and that Orthworm gets body pressed, we are in bad shape.
That's true. All right, here comes the Vegapunk. Come on, Orth. Come on, Worm. Come on. What's he gonna go for? Oh!
Oh my gosh. Okay.
They did the thing!
They did the thing, Tyler!
Decision from the Beneral. Fantastic. Now,
I've never been happier to see a strategy of mine fail.
I don't know if Ben is just playing at 70 chess there and was baiting the explosion. I thought he was trying to force the switch and double into the appropriate Pokemon. Either way, phenomenal. We'll have to ask him at the end of the game if that's what he was thinking about. The only unfortunate thing there, Tyler, is none of our Pokemon get a kill for that. Alolan Golem's got 2 kills. And only one of them was helpful.
Wait, does that one count as a kill in the record books? What an easy way to make a run at MVP.
It would. I mean, I am such a nerd with the stats in these. I remember one of the leagues I played in, they didn't count like hazard kills as kills, and it bothered me so much. So you see that, it's like, come on!
There's Captain Crunch, the Feraligatr. This is bad.
But we got bigger fish to fry.
This is bad.
Captain Crunch is scary. And if it does go for Sheer Force Focus Blast on the switch, we are not happy campers. But I don't know how likely that is.
Sheer Force.
Notes, but I don't know if
Focus Blast.
What do you think, Tyler? Got a quick choice.
Oh, John.
Okay.
John, no.
We've seen some aggressiveness on their side, so it wouldn't...
And it hits! And it hits!
Why were you so fearful?
Ben, why would you say that?
You should have stood up and said no. Nay, he will miss. He won't go for it.
Oh, I didn't like that. I was really... That's one of those where I think in most cases you probably don't expect it. But we've only seen a few plays, so it's hard to judge. But they've come out very aggressive. Everything has been aggressive. But also, what do you do there? Do you keep your steel-type defensive monster in? You know, really good prep, really good bring at that point. This is going to be a slugfest at this point, as we have Captain Crunch in here. This is a Pokemon I really, really love in draft. Just offensive Galvantula. Just firing off thunders, bullet switching around to gain momentum. Man, we were thinking about Trick Room, and now it's can we keep up with the firepower? I do really like this. We really, really need to get I'm glad it wasn't the Don fan.
That would have been a little bit too bold, right? The opponent has a lot of momentum. They're in a good spot. Why make another bold play after not only did you make that fantastic, bring and prediction, but you didn't miss Focus Blast. But
I mean, if there's any team in this league that you can bring Focus Blast against and it's gonna hit on the first time, it's us. This is the team to do it against. I don't know why more people aren't running Sheer Cold against us.
Don't give them any ideas.
Don't.
Stop it right now.
Cut it.
This is a little worrying as, I mean, man, we're down to Vegapunk is not the strongest worm at this point, but we do still have 2 things that make me somewhat confident. And we're win con with Trick Room, which is big, and we do still have Galvantula that can really, really do some damage and weaken the team, hopefully, to allow a Trick Room sweep. At this point, we just need to get rid of a Pokemon or 2, and we really could bring ourselves back in it. I don't see a world where this is not a quick battle, though. I mean, we need to win quickly. Yeah.
Who's coming in?
Okay.
Captain,
Which is
okay.
a little less than Ben's wheelhouse, but we've seen him pull it off. We've seen these things flipped on their head in a move or 2.
That did
we
nothing.
Absolutely have now.
No, I think the Benro should go ahead and switch now in the Saturn. I don't know why he stayed in there, because he knew the captain was coming in.
The Tentacruel, which could probably be switched in one single time. I don't know if Ben wants to use that switch in now. Man, it's difficult. I mean, Fraligator is a monster, dude. It is a terrifying Pokemon with that
The
sheer
question
force.
is, if you don't make the switch, or if you don't switch into Tentacruel, who are you going into, or can you switch into anything else? Because nothing wants to eat a hit here.
No, I think you stay in or switch. There's not a third option, and it looks like stay in is the move.
No.
Boy,
No.
I think it's over.
The coach is in disbelief. There's the Dragon Dance. I can't. I can't. If he sets up one more, that thing's gonna outspeed Galvantula.
Something that Ben prepped for. That may be one of the better brings we've seen in 3 seasons against us. It's not the craziest, it's not the most insane strategy no one would ever consider. But to have that Focus Blast to allow it to take out the Orthworm, get the Avalugg on the switch before we Terra into the water to make sure we fully wall this thing. I mean,
Coach.
It's just one of the best brings we've seen. We haven't been able to get Trick Room up.
Coach.
What's he cooking? Speed at this point.
I don't know if he can cook anymore. This battle's over now.
How do we get through this?
Well, I'm holding on to Bubby for dear life, while also covering his eyes to shield him from what potentially may happen.
Yeah, I'm gonna hug him. He's sobbing into me. So
you sob into me real quick, Bubby. I'm so scared. I'm actually scared.
Yeah, I feel.
And Coach has left the camp.
Moments like this.
It's so bad.
This is the one time I didn't wear a goofy shirt. John Cena's coming back next week. Everyone have no fear. John will be here. Well, I guess he'll be here
Liquidation.
anyway.
Well, good news, bad news.
Yeah, please, bring the good news. Let's hear that one.
I'm pretty sure it's Life Orb. So if the third move doesn't have sheer force attached, it'll take some damage.
All right, yeah, that's great news.
No, it's good news. Great is aggressive. It's definitely not great. Oh, but no, never mind. No, yeah, no. That's got a secondary effect.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah.
And it's probably good it was sheer force anyways, because if it wasn't, we would have been pairing.
I mean,
don't worry, guys. This doesn't have sticky webs on it, which is good. we don't know what that does. We don't have to worry about that one.
Yeah, this.
I'm glad Snorlax has his eyes closed back there.
Yeah. This isn't something we've experienced, I think, yet in Playmore's existence. But this is where draft can be really devastating. Truly, this was just a fantastic bring. It comes down to whether or not they hit Focus Blast. They missed Focus Blast there. We have that knowledge. We can Terra up. A lot of things can be different. But it's obviously way in their favor to hit it. Fantastic bring, fantastic prediction. They get rid of that Avalugg, and at that point, as long as they can get a Dragon Dance up, it's over. It turned into who's going to Dragon Dance or Trick Room first. And because of the Focus Blast, there's no reason for Ben to expect Dragon Dance. He can still be worried about it, but you'd have to be a madman to then expect it afterwards. Man, hats off to Thomas. I'm really happy he didn't bring Bubby. If he had brought Appleton just to sit on the sidelines for the 5-0 loss, that would have crushed me in my spirit. But you know what? Tyler, while this hurts, it's devastating to sit here. I don't like this feeling. I'm not worried about the team or the season. I still love the team. It's probably my favorite in the league. I'm not worried about Ben's plays, his prep, or anything in this battle. I think this was just truly hats off to the opponent, and hopefully we don't go against a Focus Blast, Dragon Dance, Sheer Force here again.
I prefer to never face it ever. Again, in any format. It's one of those where the lone good thing you can take away from a loss like this, it's what you pointed out, is where it feels like it's more what the opponent did well versus deficiencies on your side.
Yeah.
We still know we have a very good team. We know we had a very good draft. It's been regarded as one of the best drafts in this league by most people. It's one of those things where it came purely down to, literally one move. If that doesn't hit, it's completely different. If he makes what would have been the safer decision to either, like you said, run Focus Blast or have some kind of physical setup set on the Feraligatr, things go completely differently. Just a really good coaching decision, some luck for that move to hit, and ultimately things just fell the way they did. We couldn't recover from that.
Hats off. Incredible from the opponent. And now let's talk to our fearless leader. Obviously not the result you wanted, Ben, and not a result you ever want. But I want to start this off with a positive. The early sequence was phenomenal, and I need to know if you were baiting the explosion, because if so, that was one of my favorite plays I've ever seen from Playmore.
Yeah, I did want to bait the explosion, but let's not forget the fact that I just completely forgot that Terrified Body Press was an option there. I mean, I knew one part of my Crocodile counter ideally was meant for the Star After lead, but it could still deal with an Alone Golem lead if you're more of an offensive variant, which is something I faced a few times in mocks. However, I did face more Fairy and then Terrified with Body Press, even though it makes a lot of sense. It's just something I didn't face and not something that came to mind until I saw that shiny fist on the screen. So, sucked losing Crocodile there. But after going into Hatterene, because it is the ideal way to obviously kill Golem and everything, I realized if he was offensive, I faced a few explosion variants, and I might just want to go ahead and make the hard switch. It as well just lets me scout if he has anything he wants to hit, or if he's like a slower version, whatever he might worry about. So I did bait out the explosion, and luckily it benefited us there. And that was about all we did that match.
After a battle like this, as John tried to grasp at straws and get some positives, it's easy to dwell on the negative. It was such a quick loss, a tough one, and a dominant performance from the Feraligatr on the other side. But something me and John talked about after the battle was just how good of a draft Playmore had and how we still feel really good about this team in particular. How do you move forward and balance that with a loss like this where, yes, it's a big margin, but a lot of it felt like it came down to just one particular really good prep on the other side?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do with this great team after this unfortunate loss is drop Avalok harder than Tyler's hype up for his chili reception jokes. I like Avalok a lot, and it's great. And this was planned either way. I was going to be dropping Avalok after this week, and we're going to be picking up Altaria. Ooh. So I'll talk more about Altaria in the future, but look forward to that.
Altaria?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get too sad about the loss. Feraligatr is a menace, and that thing was going to be an issue no matter what. Even if, I came in safely, I was Terra Water, full, whatever. Just because Avalok's naturally, low special defense, and Focus Plus is high base damage power, Feraligatr still has a decent special attack, and he was even mixed. I was getting 2 KO by Focus Blast, so as long as he managed to hit 2, I mean, that Feraligatr was still doing the exact same thing it did. So, I mean, it was very tough that it happened like that. Even my potential choice scarfers that I could have to deal with Feraligatr there, Superior was absolutely walled by Tinkaton, Salazzle, and then even, you have the chance of Star After being more of an issue again if it were to come. And then Galvantula, Donphan easily deals with Scarf Galvantula. And then Tinkaton as well can still eat a lot of hits, especially when it's a Soul Vest like that. So the matchup was difficult. I'm not going to ignore that fact. I was maybe only 50-50 in my mocks. I just wish I prepped a little bit more for the Focus Blast Feraligatr. I faced it maybe twice. I asked people to bring it. I don't think I faced it enough in mocks. So I just need to be a little bit more committed to facing the threats that I know are the biggest threat. Because that was definitely an issue. I think in my mocks, they missed the Focus Blast, and I shrugged it off, and I was like, yeah, I did it. I'm really good. But, of course, then when he hits the Focus Blast, we're all like that. It's just like, yikes. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to sweat it too hard. I knew Thomas, and specifically that matchup, was going to be one of, if not our toughest matchup this entire season. So, I'm not going to stress about it too much, and neither should y'all. Just look forward to next week's battle, and we'll give you more information about our newest member of Team Playmore, Altaria.
I assume they'll talk more about Altaria in the team builder for week 3. But Ben, good luck to you and your week 3 battle, and I forget who the opponent is. But that doesn't matter. If I'm sorry this video came out late. I'm actually recording this at 3 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, today, 3 o'clock in the morning. So forgive me for getting it out this late. But I got the video out, so yay me. I'll see y'all next week for week 3, and let's hope that Playmore can bounce back against their opponent. Well, now that's all I have for now. So next time, Poke fans, gotta catch them all.